AJ Ryzik here, and today we're taking a look at another Manjaro distribution. Yeah, I know I've been on this Manjaro kick for a while, but hey, they got a lot of distributions or variants or, however you want to say it. This one uses PekWM for the window manager, or Pek window manager, or I'm not exactly sure the correct way that that's said or whatnot. But it's one of the community distributions, and you know what, if you're looking for a lightweight distribution, this thing's really looking nice. Very nice looking distribution. I had a request to do this review, and I installed it on my system, and it's like, kind of so what at first, but after I got playing around with it, I'm like, wow, this is really nice. I can see where somebody would really enjoy this, especially if you are on a piece of hardware that needs a lightweight system, like if you got an older laptop, older desktop, that sort of thing, limited resources. Especially, if you got maybe you have a netbook that has one of those low-powered Atom processors, this thing would probably rock that Atom netbook like you wouldn't believe. Before we get going any further, just a kind of a few announcements here. First, want to apologize for not getting up videos in the past couple of weeks, but it has been total insanity around here. This past week, all the kids went back to school, and for those of you who have school-age kids, you know exactly what I'm talking about. Well, there are four school-age kids in this household, so last week was buying school supplies and all that kind of stuff that goes along with getting kids ready for school. So anyway, we made it past that. The other thing that's going on, for those of you that don't know, I also write novels besides throwing all these videos up on YouTube, and I've got a self-imposed 1st of October deadline for the latest in my Chronicles of Aria Prime series. So I've been spending a lot of time working on that. And there's been other stuff, but those are kind of the main things that have been slowing down the videos. But trying to get back into the groove of getting these things up on a regular basis for everyone. Got a couple of good ones coming up. One is going to take a look at taking old laptops, netbooks, that sort of thing, and making them useful again. And kind of what inspired that was I just recently picked up a new laptop for my stepdaughter, and set that up for her. And her older laptop, which was an old Dell D630, I took that. This was an exchange, not a here's a new laptop, keep the old one. Now she gave me the old one back. But anyway, so I got that thing, and it's it's single core processor, 1 gig of RAM. It's like, okay, well, let's see if I can do something with it, make it useful. Because to be quite honest, a lot of people, depending on what you're going to use your computer for, you don't need the latest hardware and big bloated distribution. And I mean, this Manjaro PekWM, that kind of feeds into that, and that this is something that would probably run just fine on that old 10-year-old laptop. But anyway, so I'm going to be doing a video on that. I'm going to take a look at Ubuntu 14.04 Unity, and not doing a real review on it, but more of, all right, here's all the neat, cool stuff that you can do to that distribution to make it more useful and, I don't know, user-friendly, but kind of personalize it for your particular uses. But anyway, that's enough about talking about all the announcements. Let's get this review started. All right, so this is the default look for Manjaro PekWM. Um, and just to kind of give you a heads up, the only things that I have added to this is I added my screen recorder and then the webcam viewer, which is what you see right here, the GUVC video. I always have trouble with that. So what you see, like I said, what you see is what you get. Comes with this cool dock on the bottom. And as you can see, the two icons that kind of look out of place are the webcam viewer that I added and the screen recorder that I added. And the one, I like the dock, but the one thing that I kind of found with it is that it didn't have a whole lot of default icons that I could fall back on for adding stuff to it. But I don't know. There may be a workaround for it. Well, as you can see, there is a workaround. I added these icons right here so that I could use those for my quick launch. But I looked around on the AUR, see if I could find any additional icons for this thing. I couldn't. There may be something available, and I just don't know about it. But kind of it is what it is. But I mean, it's functional, and for the purpose of this video, it kind of gets the point across of what's going on here. Anyway, over on this side, if you look at my cursor here, over here we've got a nice little conky that gives us a breakdown of what's going on with our distribution here, and actually up here at the top where it shows the RAM and CPU usage, it's kind of, I don't know, misleading right now just because of all the stuff that I'm running so that I can process this video. Just to give you kind of a baseline, now this is a quad core processor on my desktop. Baseline, I was without all these different screen recorders and image viewers and all that kind of stuff running, I was only running like 1% of one core of the processor. So I mean, baseline, this thing uses almost nothing. Same thing with the RAM. I'm running almost 800 megs of RAM right now, but once again, baseline, it was like 125, 150. I mean, nothing down. So if you've got a, like I was talking before, that old Latitude D600 only got 1 gig of RAM. You've only used 10 to 20% of your RAM to run run this distribution, and you still got plenty to work with, depending on what you're planning on running. So anyway, like I say, you got this nice little conky over here, and like I said, we've got our little quick launch right here. If you right click anywhere on your monitor, you will see you get a pop-up menu, if you will, and you can launch from here rather than launching from down on the quick launch bar, whichever works out best for you. So that's one of the kind of neat features here. And another really neat feature I found, and let me go and we'll open up a whole bunch of windows. I'll open up all the windows I got running right now, is you can go and stack the windows on top of each other, which may not seem like a big deal at first, but let me show you what's so neat about that. Okay, do a middle click with your mouse on top of the title bar of your window, drag it over here, try it again. Okay, then we're gonna take this one, drag it on over here also. Alright, now what we have done is every one of those windows is a new tab. on the same window. Now, it's like, okay, so what? No big deal or whatnot. Well, if you think about if you're working on, say, a laptop, okay, and you've got to have multiple applications open, you can now go and stack them all on top of each other, and you got a tab for each one. So maybe you got maybe you're writing something up, say you're a college student, and you've got LibreOffice open, and you got a couple of I don't know, maybe you got Firefox open and a dictionary open, all that. Stack them all on top of each other. Now they're tabbed for easy access. Really, really neat little feature there. At first I was kind of, so what? But, after I got thinking about it, that's like, I can see where that'd be very, very useful tool. Okay, probably the next thing I like to do is I'll just do a quick rundown of all the programs that we've got on here. Of course, we've got our terminal. Use Thunar for the file manager. Very nice, very nice file manager. Firefox for the default browser. We've got Catfish for an application searcher. Cherry Tree for doing some notes there. If you're not familiar with Cherry Tree, just a real basic, easy to use note-taking program. Okay, where was I at? Okay, AbiWord, Gnumeric for our office needs, a calculator, and simple scan tool. Genie for our text editor. Vunor, I think is how you pronounce it. I've used that program for years, and I don't know if I'm pronouncing right. But anyway, for image viewing, multimedia, we got SM2, we've got, oh, I lost it there. SM Player, our mixer, our burner. Down here on network, we've got Claws Mail for our email client, HexChat for our chat client, Qubit Torrent if you're into torrents. A couple of games there. We got Gnome Chess, Breakout, Frozen Bubble, Welded. Here we got our different customizations that we can do for nitrogen, LX appearance. Here's our manager for WBar, and I'll kind of come back to that in a little bit so you can see what's going on with that. Tint Wizard, Conky Manager, all that kind of stuff. We've got our system tools here. Nice to see that they have included gparted. I always like seeing that. Thunar is root. Octopi is the package manager. Here we can tweak our window manager settings, a little screenshot application, and then a go-to for going to different workspaces and whatnot. And then session down here, that will fire up. You can see a cancel, log out, restart, shut down, lock, all that kind of stuff. Okay, so let me talk a little bit about this WBar Launcher down here. Let me go and pull up the manager for that. There we go. Okay, and what I really liked about this is how easy it is to customize it. Now, I did point out earlier, not a lot of icons are included along with it, and I'd love to see more. And like I said, maybe there is, and I just don't know where to access them. But anyway, you can go and add new items to here, depending on whatever your needs are. You can remove your different well, can't talk today. You can remove, you can add launchers, all that kind of stuff. You can also edit them. So, and one of the things that I like that you can edit is the name of the program that pops up. You see the different names here. If you come over here to, my webcam is the program name is GUVC Viewer. Well, I just named it webcam. And this is this would be kind of useful for, let's say you're setting up a computer for, a relative, friend, whatever, and they're not the most computer savvy person. You see GUVC Viewer, and they're like, what is that? Well, call it webcam, and they might get the point. Or like, let's just say here, Firefox. We'll go and edit that. There's your title right there. Instead, let's call it Internet. Okay, so you do that, reload it, and now you can see down here on the bottom, when you scroll over the Firefox icon, it just says Internet. It's pretty useful for, or you could, over here on Claws Mail, you can just put email. Setting things up for, whoever. But anyway, you come over to preferences. You can run it above the desktop, make it a vertical bar, or you can make it a horizontal bar. Whatever you want on that. But all kinds of tweaks you can do there. Effects right here, icon size, icon distance, number of animated icons, all kinds of stuff that you can tweak. So really nice, quick launcher application there. All right, let's take a look at, let me go and pull it up here. Wait for it. Some of the different things that you can customize here. All right, here's nitrogen. And you can look at some of the various themes that come included. Just click apply and boom, I said nothing really fancy or special there, but seems to be we've got some Halloween themes going on here. But you can tweak all that kind of stuff. Okay, LX appearance. Okay, for our widget style, you can see the different styles we got. For me, that is too much Windows 95-ish, so we won't be changing to that. Here you can make a custom color set. You can change what our default icons are. There's quite a few that, well, not a huge number, but a decent amount that come pre-installed. Same thing with the mouse cursor. And not a whole lot of options as far as fonts go. GUI options, toolbar styles, icon styles, all that kind of stuff. And alright, we did that. Of course, we already looked at the WBar Manager Tint Wizard. And you can see the different background colors and all this neat tinting stuff that you can do. And there's a customize and a Conky Manager. And so if you want to go and change the conkeys, add different ones, change colors, all that kind of stuff. You got a little manager for that. Personally, I'm just going to leave it as is. I've never been a big conky fan myself. To me, it's just an extra thing cluttering up the desktop. I like the desktop to be nice and clean. But to each his own. If you're into the conkeys, go and add some more conkeys to here and tweak it to your heart's content. Okay, so just kind of some general comments and whatnot on this distribution. Everything on here works lightning fast. There is no lag on anything. You know, everything instantly opens and runs, and there's no waiting for such and such program to load up. So that is just awesome. Especially coming from like say a Gnome or a Gnome distribution or KDE. You have a little bit of lag because your distribution is so heavy. This sucker, I mean, it is so lightweight that everything, you just almost instantly it's loading up. So really happy with the distribution on that end. As far as do I like it and whatnot, I coming into this as somebody that is a real big fan of the Gnome desktop, it's taken me a little bit of changing how I guess you say changing how I think about how I'm going to work on the desktop to get used to this distribution. After I did that, I started to realize, wow, here's what you can do, here's what this thing's capable of, that sort of thing. And I'm really liking this distribution. And once again, I said before, this would be a great distribution if you're going on an older piece of hardware, you got limited resources, that sort of thing. For that kind of thing, it's got to be awesome. And I would even bet that there's you could probably go and install this on a tablet. I don't know, I haven't tried this yet, but I bet you could pick up a tablet and be able to run it on a tablet. It might be a future project maybe. But anyway, like I said, I really like what I'm seeing here, especially if you need something lightweight, really nice. Anyway, that about finishes this review up. Comments, questions, all that kind of stuff, be sure to leave it in the comment section down below. As always, please subscribe if you like to keep getting these videos. And thanks a lot. See you on the next video.